Hello and welcome to Blessings by D. Today we are going to be talking about how multiple income streams is actually biblical. I know that finances and money in general is a topic that most people try to avoid within Christianity, but it's a really important topic to discuss because this is how the world works after all. We need money to survive. So I'm going to be covering a few verses that actually talk about how we can steward our money and how multiple income streams is actually biblical. We'll take a little dive into the Bible where it talks about having multiple income streams and how that can actually help us in a rainy day. A few examples of what this might look like. So this could be investing. Investing can be very different. So it can be things like stocks or Bitcoin. If you're looking into the stock market, I'm sure you can look up YouTube videos how to get started. The earlier you start, the better. It doesn't even matter if you don't have a lot of finances to invest. Even if you invest a little bit, it all goes a long way. It's good to just put that money aside, even if it's only $10 a day, $10 a week, $10 a month, whatever you can afford, put it away and it'll be kept there nice and safe for you, and you'll get a return on that eventually. So things like stock, your retirement funds, Bitcoin, anything like that. And you can also invest in real estate. So having multiple properties, having your own home and an apartment, having investment properties and things like that. Now, you might be thinking, how on earth am I going to get into the property market? That is not for me. What is this woman even talking about? Now, God can do everything. I don't think you actually realize how big your God actually is and what miracles he can actually do for you, what blessings he can give you. No matter what situation you're in, you need to understand that God can turn anything around for you. God can bless you abundantly and unexpectedly. You can be in a situation one year and then the next year you can be buying your home. It can happen, but all perfect gifts are from God. And so he can bless you with a home just like that. God can turn your situation around just like that. He can move mountains for you. So just pray, leave it with God. Don't worry about it. Just keep living life, live humbly, and you never know how he might bless you. So when it comes to real estate, you might think that it's not for you, but you never know. And honestly, with all of these topics that I'm going to mention, remember that you have to pray about it first and you have to wait for God's calling. Always surrender to God's will. Always follow his guidance for your life and just trust in him. He will guide you. He will show you what you should do and what you shouldn't do. So all of this advice will not be for everybody. Next thing you can look into is social media. There's so many ways you can make money on social media nowadays. And so definitely get in on that. You can make money on all the different social media platforms. You can sell things. You can just post videos and post photos and things like that. Who knows what can happen? Be creative. What kind of talents do you have? What kind of things do people usually find interesting about you? What can you post? What can you sell? There's heaps of different ways that you can monetize social media. Look into that as well. Maybe watch some YouTube videos about that. See if God is calling you to do that. The next thing you could do is resell things. So you can go to garage sales, you can buy and sell different things, you can buy things on sale, on clearance, and then later on sell it. Or you can buy things, wait for them to appreciate. If it's things that actually go up in value, you can just play the waiting game, be patient, and then sell it in the future. So reselling and things like that. Having some kind of business, some kind of side hustle. So this could be if you're into arts and crafts, and if you're into beauty, you have handyman work, maybe t-shirts, you can drop ship items, you can make items yourself, all different things like that. You can be crafty, you can be creative, and you can have some kind of side hustle that can be an extra income source. Now, it might not be fruitful straight away, but you never know how down the track God might bless you, and God might use that side hustle one day to bless you. So even if it's not fruitful, always have it on the side because you never know what seed might sprout. Another example is making connections and networking and having friends, having people around you, having professional connections, because you can help them and they can help you. In a time of need, we help each other. Community is really important as well, if you can, of course, and if you're being led. to build a community, establish these connections without any expectation, and just be friendly, just be kind, just be giving. And remember that at a time of need, you might end up reaching out to these people and being like, hey, I actually lost my job. Do you have anything going? Is there any way you think you might be able to help me out? And the same goes. Maybe they'll be in a difficult situation and they know that they can rely on you to help them as well. God loves a cheerful giver. God loves when we help each other. And the last bit of advice would be having multiple jobs. So maybe you're going through a season where you have the energy to take on multiple jobs. So maybe you have 2 jobs, maybe you have your full-time job and then maybe a second job on the weekend. Maybe that could be cafe work, cleaning work. Maybe if you can work cash jobs, maybe you're a handyman, maybe you're into beauty, maybe you can babysit, maybe you can do dog walking, maybe you can house sit, traveling type of jobs, any sort of cash jobs, social media like jobs. Maybe you could do video editing, photo editing, maybe you could do graphic design, maybe you can look on Fiverr. There are all these different platforms that you can look at online, or jobs where people can hire you and things like that. So having multiple jobs as well can help. So it's up to you if you want to do these different things, if you're called to do these things, if you're being led to do these things. Don't be overwhelmed with it. You don't have to do it all, but we'll get into the verses. Ecclesiastes 11:2. This is the King James Version. Give a portion to 7 and also to 8, for thou knowest not what evil shall be upon the earth. The NLT version says, but divide your investments among many places, for you do not know what risks might lie ahead. The NIV version says, invest in 7 ventures, yes, in 8. You do not know what disaster might come upon the land. So divide your investments among many places, for you do not know what risk might lie ahead. You do not know what disaster might come. You don't know what evil might come upon you. You might get a random curse placed upon you. You might lose your job. You might have evil. You might be in a toxic workplace where everyone is conspiring against you and they push you out of that job. Maybe God calls you out of that job. Maybe war breaks out. Maybe famine breaks out. You need to be thinking about finances. You need to be thinking about what you will do in those situations. We are called to be diligent. We're called to be diligent with our finances. We are not called to be lazy or slothful. We need to work. If all of your time is spent in one place, you only have one source of income or only one skill, you need to diversify. As Christians, God gives us knowledge, understanding, and wisdom to work smarter, not harder. And so we need to use these principles because we have this favor and we can use that to our advantage. The more we help ourselves, the more we help others. And so that's really important as well. I love reading different translations because it kind of pulls everything together so we can really understand what the verse is trying to say. So basically, it's dividing your investments, investing in different ventures, trying different things. You don't know which will sprout and you don't know which God will bless eventually. So the next verse we'll go into is Ecclesiastes 11:4. He who observes the wind will not sow, and he who regards the clouds will not reap. The NLT version says, farmers who wait for perfect weather will never plant. If they watch every cloud, they never harvest. So basically, there's no perfect time to start. It doesn't matter what kind of stress you're going through. Maybe you have anxiety. Maybe you are stressing out a little bit. Maybe you don't have the confidence yet. Maybe you have insecurities. Maybe your situation isn't the best. If you're just waiting for the perfect weather, you're never going to start. You just need to start somewhere. The confidence will build. You will grow. You will learn. People are way more patient and understanding than you might think. Just start. Just do it. All of those things will come to you as you go. You just got to start. No matter what it is that you are feeling called to do, if you're just staring out the window and you're daydreaming and you're just waiting for the perfect weather, that time will never come. A perfect time will almost never come. You don't want to waste your life never starting because you're not comfortable. You're not confident. Oh, when I get this, then I'll start. When my life looks like this, then I'll start. Don't fall into that trap. Just start. The next verse is Ecclesiastes 11:6. In the morning sow your seed, and in the evening do not withhold your hand, for you do not know which will prosper, either this or that, or whether both alike will be good. The NLT version says, plant your seed in the morning and keep busy all afternoon, for you don't know if profit will come from one activity or the other, or maybe both. So if you know anything about gardening, there are certain seeds where you plant 100 of them and then only 10 will sprout. You're not just going to plant less because you want less plants. You plant more because you never know which will sprout. And so plant more than you think you'll need. Now, we know that God will always provide for us and we don't need to worry. We need to be faithful. God will always find a way. He'll never leave us or forsake us. He'll always pull us out of the dark situation. Even if you make some mistakes, even if you don't do all of these things, God will always help you. But it's also good to be diligent and obedient. If God is calling you to something, just do it. Just be obedient. Just do what He's calling you to do. If He's not calling you to do any of these things, and if they're stressing you out, then don't worry about it. It's not your calling, and God will provide in other ways. But the whole point is that He is calling you to see that you're meant to plant seeds. You never know what kind of dark times might lie ahead. You never know what rainy day might lie ahead, what disaster might come, what kind of unexpected bills you might have. Maybe God will call you into a drought season. That happens quite often where God calls us into a season of rest. So the same way that we work diligently, we also need to rest diligently. There's a verse in Hebrews about that, to be diligent in our rest, just the same way we're diligent in our work. So sometimes we rest and we lose our job and we're in a sticky situation, and at that time we're relying on God's provision. And a lot of the times He uses all of these different seeds that we've planted in the past. It could have been one of your investments. It could have been one of your side hustles. It could have been one of your connections that you've made. Those sorts of things can help you out in that season of lack. God will use one of those things that you did in the past to help you. So the more seeds that you sow, the easier that will be when you are in the drought season. Because you could sow no seeds and God will still help you, but it'll be a little bit harder than if you were diligent in the past, setting yourself up for the future. You'll make it easier on yourself. And so, for example, you might have a high-paying job and you start saving and putting everything aside. And then when you hit that drought season, maybe when you lose your job, you have savings to get you by. Or maybe you don't have a high-paying job, but you were diligent and you were investing a little bit. And so you find that over time, if you lose your job, you actually have some investments you can sell on a rainy day. Or if you lose a job, you might have some assets that are yielding in some income. You might have some things around your house that you can sell. So there are different things that you can do to get by. You might be thinking, why do we need to do all of these things? Well, God calls us to be good stewards with our money. The more we help ourselves, the more we can help others. And God loves a cheerful giver. So if we have our savings, we don't know what that could be used for, but God knows what it can be used for. You might not even understand what you want to use it for right now, but in the future, God will call you and say, hey, you know what? Invest in that. Hey, you know what? Treat yourself to this. Or hey, there's this person in need. I need you to help them right now. Hey, there's this ministry I want you to sow into, and I want to bless you twice as much later on, because that is necessary for your future. God's ways are higher than our ways. He knows best. He knows what He's doing with our finances. We just need to trust whatever He's doing, be obedient, because it's all in His hands. We don't need to even worry too much about these concepts, because God is the one teaching us. We need to be diligent and learn and understand how the world works. Each person will be different, but we need to know what to do because God is the one controlling our finances. And you don't want to make it harder on Him if you just kick your feet up and just be lazy. God doesn't call us to be lazy. He actually says that if you're lazy, it'll lead to poverty. If you don't work with your hands, it'll lead to poverty. So there's a reason for that. God can't do everything for us. We also have to put in the work, and we also have to think in advance, and we also have to sow seeds. God will use those seeds and He'll flourish it for us, but we do have to put in the work. So remember that money is important. We need money to live. We need money to pay our bills. We need to feed ourselves. We need to be able to help others. The more money we have, the more we can help others. So it is an important factor of life. It's how the world works. It's our currency. And so we help each other, we help our businesses. Everyone has goods or services to provide, and so we just help each other in that way, and it all gets recycled, and we use money. It's the reality. We also need to be diligent workers. God gives us favor. We need to use that favor. God gives us knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. And so we need to work smarter, not harder. God will give you all the tools, all the knowledge. He'll make it easy for you. If it's your calling, He'll make it smooth and easy. He'll pave the way. He'll make the path straight for you. So don't even worry about that. Don't stress too much. But just remember that these things exist. These verses provide good guidance for us in how we should steward our finances. The final verse is Proverbs 21:20. There is desirable treasure and oil in the dwelling of the wise, but a foolish man squanders it. The BSB version says, precious treasures and oil are in the dwelling of the wise, but a foolish man consumes them. And the NLT version says, the wise have wealth and luxury, but fools spend whatever they get. I don't know if this is you, or maybe you know someone like this, where whatever money you get in, you just spend straight away. You spend it on your own luxuries, you spend it on material things, you splurge on yourself, or you just have this tendency to just spend it all, no matter what it is. Even if you're trying to be a cheerful giver and you're lending all your money away, that's also not being very responsible. We need savings. There's this really weird sense of not wanting to have savings in your account, because maybe you even hear advice saying that, maybe you hear that saying cash is trash, or cash in your savings account is just dead money. That's not true. They don't mean it like that. That's not what it means. Having money in your savings account is important for a rainy day. It's important for maybe you have an unexpected bill, maybe your car breaks down, maybe someone is in need one day. You don't just recklessly spend all your money just because someone says that cash is dead money. It's only dead money if you're flushing it down the toilet like that. Obviously, if you can, invest your money into different assets, into different businesses. Of course, that's what it means by just having money sitting in your savings account and you doing nothing with it. You can buy and sell, you can invest in a business, you can invest in stocks, you can invest in all these different ventures, you can sow seeds, you can sow into ministries, you can give. But remember that you need to have some savings for yourself. You just need to be diligent with your own finances. And God is the one who will, you might not understand now what you're saving for, but God knows what that money will be used for in the future, and He will show you. The whole point is to surrender to God, to have your savings, to do your part, and God will eventually, when the timing is right, reveal to you what you should do with those savings. People seem to ask each other all the time, oh, what are you saving for? What are those savings for? What are you saving up for? Is it a holiday? Are you saving up for a house? Are you saving up for a car? You don't necessarily need to know what you're saving for. You don't have to have a goal in mind. I mean, if you do, that's great, but you don't have to have a goal. God could actually call you to spend that money somewhere when the timing is right. He'll reveal the opportunity to you, whether it's helping someone, whether it's a car, whether it's a camera setup for yourself, whether you're going through a tough time and it's going to be for your food and it's for your bills. You don't know what it's going to be for, but just always have some form of savings in your account and don't spend recklessly. Now, I just want to say that I'm not a financial advisor. This isn't financial advice. I'm just saying that these are some principles that we can pull from the Bible. Take it with a grain of salt, read the Bible for yourself, ask God, pray over it, and see where He is leading you into. It's good to have dreams, but if you're just staring out the window, you have all these dreams and you're not taking action, make sure that you actually execute on the goals that you have. Don't just have these dreams. Follow through with them. Take action. Just start. Just make sure that you start and you don't hold back. You don't let your dreams go to waste. The time will pass by anyway and you'll regret it if you don't start. So, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you got something from it. I hope you learned something new. Hopefully you can use some of these principles in your own life and you pray to God over it, and hopefully He'll give you a revelation of what you can do with this information. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please give it a like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed it. Stick around. I'll definitely be posting more videos. Thank you so much for watching. God bless you all, and I'll see you in the next video.